See, I'm smelling dope. As soon as I pull up, I'm smelling dope. Ooh, and it's a lot of it. I don't know which way it's coming from. But see, this is a normal thing. This is a normal thing. Marijuana is not even legal. Woo! It's not even legal in this state. But everywhere I go, I'm smelling dope. All over this motherfucking city. And everybody else act like it's alright. When I call the police to report them, they don't want to be bothered. They don't want to be bothered. And the last time when I called them, when I was standing in a very terrible territory, oh, they set me up. They lined me up for the criminals. And I never shall forget when that man, the supervisor, I suspect, the supervisor, he came knocking on my door. I had been calling by my neighbors over there smoking dope. They probably over there selling dope too. Who knows? But that was their job, to go over there and investigate and check them out. They said they're going to take care of the problem. Guess what they did? They came and knocked on my door, and all them thugs standing in the street over there in the south side of town where a lot of trash resides. Oh, and hang out and commit all kind of crime right there in the open. And everybody's okay with it. And that man, I never will forget, he knocked on my door after he came from talking to the girl who was over there smoking dope every day and every fucking night. And I had been calling about it every fucking day, every fucking night. And my landlord, he told me, you need to stop all of this foolishness. He said it was foolishness. The landlord, the leader, he is accommodating these criminals. He's more upset with me for calling him, the landlord, and the police about the criminals than he is about the criminals. He said, you need to stop all of this foolishness. You need to stop calling the police. Oh. He told me those people are fine people. Them some of my best tenants. I hate to see the worst. He said, them some of my fine tenants. And those people can do whatever they want to do. Oh, yes, he did. Yes, he did. I'm telling no lies. And that police, when they went over there that particular day and knocked on them people's door and talked to them, guess what he did? While all the thugs was hanging out by the store over there where they was suspected selling drugs and smoking drugs and pretending like everybody going there getting potato chips and cookies. Yeah, that was a drug den, I suspect. And oh, he came and knocked on my door. Woo! I was like, why is he knocking on my door? They was always knocking on my door instead of staying over there where the problem is. Okay, so after about 3 knocks, I decided to go ahead and open the door. Okay, he really giving me away. He letting everybody in the neighborhood know that it's me that's calling. This is what they do. This is what they do. This is what they did to me. And when I was almost getting ready to open the door, guess what he said? Guess what he said? Hey! Hey! It's the one you've been calling about your problem. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I still cannot believe it. So he letting everybody know outside. And there was a lot of people outside. They always hanging out outside and they very nosy. He letting everybody know that I'm the one that's calling. And you know, in the hood, they call that a snitch. And you know how the thugs and the trash and the criminals, how they feel about snitches, right? And I said, this is so low down. This is so low down. But he let me know how they operate. He let me know how they roll. They don't care about the criminals. They okay with the criminals doing what they doing. They got a problem with me for calling them about the motherfucking criminals. So I learned a very valuable lesson. But that wasn't the first time I learned. A few years ago, when I called the Crime Stoppers, I was staying in the rooming house when I first came to the city, and one of the criminals that was featured in the newspaper of the Crime Stoppers, he was staying in the house. So me and my friend, and she told me something that I really cherish. She said, "You talk too much." She said, "You talk too much." She told me, "You talk too much. That's one of your problems." And I had called being honest. And I was agreeing to this situation, this whole society. I was agreeing. A lot of times when it's not like what it looks like in our society, a lot of times when they say, "Oh, we want to stop crime," they really don't mean that. That's just what they say to make it sound good and satisfy and pacify a lot of certain people in the public. You know what I mean? So to make a long story short, me and my friend, we called Crime Stoppers to report the criminal who was staying at the rooming house. A white man. He was in the newspaper. He was wanted. Oh, we walked to the library and we made the phone call. Back then they still had payphones. And it wasn't very far. It was about a 10-15 minute walk. And by the time we got back to that house, guess what we seen? Guess who we seen waiting for us? It was the man who was the criminal featured in the Crime Stoppers newspaper. Oh, he was waiting on us. Oh, we were scared. Oh, we started panicking. Our hearts started beating fast. We didn't know what we was going to do. And he wasn't by himself. Oh, he had other criminals who was going to back him up. So we decided, well, we better go back. We better walk back. And we just took a chance because they could have did something to us while we was walking back. And we stayed at the library the whole motherfucking day. We were so tired. We were so sleepy. We were so thirsty. We were so nervous. We didn't know what to do. But we knew if we went back to that house, it was going to be some problems. Oh, yes, it was. Oh, yes, it was. And most of the people in the house was criminals. And a lot of these criminals, I have noticed, because I have stayed at a lot of these rooming houses, a lot of them criminals be in them motherfucking rooming houses. Because they can't pass a background check to get a fucking apartment. Yeah. Not all of them, but a whole lot of them. Yes, and they be selling drugs in the rooming houses. They be smoking dope in the rooming houses. They be prostituting in the rooming houses. I done been there. I done seen it for myself. I know what I'm talking about. And that's what led to my vehicle getting stolen. The motherfucker that was running the rooming house where my vehicle got stolen, he used to be a former police. Oh, he told me that day when I kept on reporting that the man in the house was selling dope and smoking dope, and the girl was prostituting and having all these different dudes coming in and out, in and out, in and out. He lied, she said that was her Uber driver. What Uber driver, come in your fucking room and stay 5 or 10, 15 minutes and come back out, and then another one come. She was prostituting. I can't prove it, but I suspect she was a prostitute. And he was probably benefiting from the prostitution and the drugs. He might have been supplying the drugs. I don't know. But I do know he didn't want me to report nothing. He was getting another landlord. Another one. Most of them are operating the same way. I know what I'm talking about. And he told me that day, which was a Saturday, he told me, "I'm about sick and tired of you. And I'm about to let you know it." And the way he looked at me, and he had his eyes squinting, I knew exactly what he meant. And I knew I should get out of there real, real soon. But guess what happened? That night, my vehicle got stolen. With no glass broke, nothing. And if he is in that line of work formally, he know how to do it and make it clean. And they have master keys. They hooked up with other criminals. Yeah. Oh, yes, I know how it goes. I know how it goes. And then when I called the police to ask about if they had any knowledge about my vehicle, they had like they didn't want to be bothered. They didn't want to be bothered. They didn't want to be bothered.